Hello, Facebook. Hello. Let's see if I'm live. Hello, Facebook. Welcome to my live. I'm going to check to see if I am on. Don't come down. Oh, I'm on. Okay, so Legend was supposed to get on with me, but he's playing his game. All right, so I'm just gonna talk to y'all while I'm cooking about a topic that I was, thinking about today, and I was listening to a couple of sessions with interview and all that. So I wanted to talk about shame and why shame is stopping y'all from showing up. And this video is going to be dark. I don't really care because that's the whole point of this video. Usually I'm in my little office setting and it's bright. Let me see if I could turn this on. I don't know if that'll help though. Let me see. I can't keep it up. Let me just turn it off. But I'm going to talk to you all about how shame shows up in various things that you do. And when I started my art business, I definitely had a lot of shame that took place because, one, I'm speaking from experience because I did not start my art business or career with a degree. Usually people go to college for at least 10 years to do the things that I've done. So that was a lot of imposter syndrome, which could be a root of shame. And when you think about what you've been through in life, you really got to ask yourself, like, did you get over that? Or are you still scarred to the point where you feel like when you're around people can see that? You got to think about all these things and assess and deep dive into what is going on, because it can come out in various ways. And so when I started getting on live, when I started to sell my artwork in person, I didn't feel like I was enough for these spaces. I felt like I was like the child in the room, because I was like, okay, these people have done all these things to get to this point. But for me, I feel like I kind of skipped over a lot of the groundwork as far as what you're supposed to do on paper. And so what is blocking you from getting on here and showing up and monetizing who you are? What is really blocking you from that? Is it, something else outside of shame? Do you feel like you don't have nothing to say? Do you feel like nobody cares about what you're going to talk about? People might not care about what you talk about, but there's other people that need what you're sharing to the world. And it's not always like you're going to get on here, sing a whole song, do cartwheels. You might just have something to say. And so I wanted to share that while I make this. I'm making hamburgers for Legend. He had them yesterday and he wanted me to make them again today. So I got you in my kitchen and with no lighting, all the things. But anyways, does shame even come up in your conversation when you're talking with friends or spiritual leaders or your therapist? Like, does that even come up in your conversation? Because when you think about shame, and I'm going to give this reference, the woman at the well, if you read the Bible, the woman at the well went specifically to get her water at a certain time of the day because of the shame that she had. And so when she realized that there was this man, and I'm saying that because she didn't even know the significance of who was meeting her at the well, she was like, "You want to be seen with me?" And she had all this stuff going on. She had been married. She wasn't in a current marriage. She was with a guy. She was doing all these, all these things that her community had shamed her for. And, when you think about what happened, is that she specifically curated her life according to the shame that she felt. And this could be because of a person, this could be because of a group. I don't know where your shame stemmed from, but I was also listening to this story earlier about a woman that is an opera singer. And she, grew up with a family that she said they were like all about academics. And there's nothing wrong with academics. Hold on, let me try this way. There's nothing wrong with academics and going to school and getting your degrees, and that's not what this is about. But her family just kind of like, shamed her for being pretty and said like, no, you need to be intelligent. So she chased the academic part of her and the intelligence, and what that created was a form of shame. So she didn't want to show up as a beautiful woman. She just wanted you to like her for her intellect. So she would shun people from saying like, you're pretty, you're beautiful, and she would be like, stick to the intellect part. So what happened one day in her practice of being a opera singer, they had a performance coming up, and she said her teacher just kept saying like, what's going on with you? And she was taking it as an offense because she thought she was singing really well, and she was like, that was like something was boiling up, like an emotion. And she realized that she was being confronted with her shame because he said to her, you're trying to prove that you study to be a singer, but you're a beautiful woman, so you need to sing like one. And that blessed me today because she said something just broke like in her. She was like, why can't I be beautiful and sing? And it stemmed back to her family saying, worry about the academics more and the intelligence more than showing up and being pretty or beautiful, which pretty and beautiful is different in definition, but the teacher said, you're beautiful, so sing like a beautiful woman and allow that feeling of being a beautiful woman to come out within your expression of art. And so when you get on here, my point is, when you get on here and you talk to people, are you talking from the lens of, I'm not worthy enough? I'm like, nobody wants to listen to me. I don't have nothing to give to people. I don't have nothing to share to people. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, all of that will exude on this screen or on this phone, whatever you get on with. What are you showing people? Are you showing that you're confident? Are you showing that you have overcame a lot of the things in your past? What are you showing people? And that made me think about, what am I projecting to this world? Like, am I projecting that I'm not confident? Am I projecting that I'm still not over a lot of things that I went through? Am I projecting that my family doesn't really understand what I do, so I'm going to show up as this scared person, thinking that everybody's like them? what are you showing up as? Because it's blocking you from monetizing who you are. We live in a digital era, and this stuff is not going to go backwards, y'all. So you can get on here and talk about literally anything under the sun, and they will reward you for it if you stay consistent and if you keep showing up. Even the digital platforms can tell when you're not being true to yourself, because what they want you to do is keep talking about what you put on your platform. So let's say, again, you started out with something that was totally different, that wasn't you're not really that person anymore. You're gonna have to work 10 times harder to be consistent with the new you. So that's why you have to be careful with what you're showing up as on here, in not an over spiritual sense. It's just like, you're gonna have to keep talking about that. So if you talk about toxic relationships and you don't want to talk about that no more, you're actually in a healthy relationship and you've moved on, you're going to have to pivot fast, and you're going to have to stay consistent within that pivoting, because what you get rewarded with is your authenticity. The computer doesn't know if you're faking or not. They just know that you like to talk about XYZ. So what are they gonna, keep thinking that you're gonna show up as is who you're putting out. And that if it's not who you are right now, if it's not something that's benefiting you, I would pivot fast. So I have my burger. Do y'all put mustard in y'all meat? I do. I don't want no naysayers to say anything otherwise. So I listened to that today about the opera singer, and she was like, she went on from that session to be more confident and say, like, to herself, like, I am beautiful. I do have something to offer. And she showed up like that in the performance. And so when you're an artist, this is for everyone. Everyone is an artist to their own lane or personal style. You're an artist. Like, that's how you need to show up. You need to show up on here like you are creating a masterpiece. And it just so happens that everybody is watching. That's literally it. It just so happens that everyone is watching. So if you like to travel, travel. If you like to cook, cook. If you like to talk about what you should teach your kids, talk about that. If you like to talk about money, talk about that. If you want to talk about anything, if you want to talk about sports, talk about sports, but do that with being an artist in mind. Do that understanding that you are getting on here to create a masterpiece for someone to relate to, for someone to find joy in, for someone to be able to learn from you. Do it as an artist. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You don't have to say what everybody else is saying. But what you do is you find that strength that you have, and you start to lean into that. You start to lean into the strength and the courage that you have to do what you do. Let me wash my hands real quick. Lexi, you want to talk to them? Hey, y'all. They can't see you. Gotta back up.
Hey guys.
Wait.
You might have pulled me back there playing the game. You might have seen me. And I got a haircut.
Got a haircut.
Yippee!
All right. So you have to show up here. I got this done. So I done did the meat. So you have to show up. You can go back and you have to show up as an artist on here. You have to make sure that someone is learning from what you have. And I would put mustard, but I'm the only one in. It is a thing. Y'all do it on my chicken. Like, y'all should try that because it's really good. It's actually, you don't have to season your meat as much, so it's not going to be like extra salty. And you bind it together with like a oil, whether it's like, I have like a cooking oil, because when you heat up olive oil, it's not really good for you. But but yeah, you want to show up to this world as an artist. Just because you don't know how to paint, just because you might not write poetry, doesn't mean that you're not an artist. You're an artist in a particular area of expertise, and it's up to you to get on here and show them who you are. We are going into an educational type of era that is online. It's projected to be like more billions of dollars added to this whole context of world. So you want to get in before it's like, people are waking up to it. They're waking up to it now. I would honestly say it's probably a little bit, you just got to work a little bit more if you're going to start now. But it's not that bad yet, but it's just people are looking to learn. They're looking to buy things. They're looking on here. I understand that there's vendor events, there's in-person speaking events, all that can happen. But if they don't see you on here, what are they hiring? What are they like, give them a sneak peek of what they can find with you in person. And that's all you're really doing. You're just curating something for people to know who you are. But I just thought that story was so amazing. If you have shame, I just would say tonight in your prayer, I denounce shame. I uproot it. God uproots it, but I denounce shame, and I want God to take this burden off of me and lighten my load so that I can clearly think, I can clearly execute, because that's blocking it too. Like you can get to the point where you're like, okay, I have everything I need. I have a laptop, I have internet, I have everything I need, I have a setup, and then that shame comes and just smacks you and you're like, oh my God, I can't get on here. I had a baby out of wedlock. I can't get on here. I can't get on here because I didn't go to college. I can't get on here. Like, you can say so many things to talk yourself out of going to the next level in your destiny. And I'm being so serious because I'm a witness to that, y'all. I did not go to school for art. My teacher in high school, in advanced art, she always was annoyed because I would not use the actual system to draw people. Like, there's a whole process of drawing people with the grid and all. I don't do none of that. I don't do that. And look what God has done. He's not done yet, but look at what he's done to help me understand, like, he created me, and it's a gift that I'm supposed to be giving regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what has happened. God has given you the gift that you have to show up here. He knew internet was going to come. That's the whole study I did. Maybe I'll do that for like a special Bible study, but he knew the internet was going to be here. This is nothing new. Nothing is new to him, y'all. So if you think God doesn't love you, if you think God is not talking to you, he is. He is. You're just not listening. You're just not listening. So you got to start executing with what he's telling you. It's not a over spiritualized thing like he only talks to me. He only talks to my pastor at church. He only talks to my friend that I talk to and she's always having like breakthroughs and miracles. No, that's not the case at all. But they're open to what he wants them to do. They're open to, well, I'm not going to say everybody that's talking is getting their stuff from God, but they're open to him telling them to execute and they just do it. There's so many like people that don't profess that they, love God or anything. You don't even know if they're a Christian or not. They're executing like crazy. They got money, they know how to manage, they know how to do all these things. And so when we don't do that and we're professing that, if you are a believer and you're getting on here and you're professing, you're posting the scriptures and you're not doing all the things that like an unbeliever is doing, that's like a slap in the face to God. It really is. So I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna start flipping my burgers, but I wanted to get on and talk about that, and I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel. Follow my YouTube channel, Kristen Nicole Mann. Go to my website, www.kristennicolemann.com, and I have a guide on there. If you want to start your Facebook platform, get it started, get it, people seeing it, all of the things. I have a guide that you can read. It's a quick guide. It's probably only 6 pages long, and you can figure this thing out. Now, it's just specifically for Facebook, but it can spill over to all the other platforms. So, if you want to get started tonight, go get that guide and look at my other things too, my artwork, my books, everything that I have. But I'm going to start these burgers and I will talk to you all later. Bye.